We're here with Jennifer Brown, the interim CEO of SOCAN. Jen, what's your background in terms of working at SOCAN and maybe even before that?
Well, I'm actually a long-term SOCAN employee. I started as a membership rep way back. I can't remember which exact year, but I moved into licensing in 2008, which was actually about the time that we really started to work with the online music services as well. It was iTunes back then, but quickly shifted into Spotify and Google Play. And then I moved into overall operations a couple of years ago, and that included working with the distribution and the international relations team. So I've really had a great time over the last, I'd say, 20 years, getting to see the organization from money in to money out, and the complex systems that takes in order to get that work out and those distributions out to our members.
hmm So you have quite an extensive background at SOCAN that I assume is going to serve you in good stead as you work as the interim CEO.
Yes, I think it helps to understand exactly, how we operate, where our opportunities are. I've been a part of the large projects in the past, and I think that having that end-to-end knowledge is really helpful because the more that we get into, say, reproduction rights or digital licensing, and a lot of these one-to-one pieces like where we need to understand how the repertoire impacts the license fees. That's really important to understand exactly all the elements of, how the writers are setting up their songs with their publishers, how it's licensed, and then how to best distribute.
Now, you also have an interesting background in that you were in a family that was actually a musical family that toured and made recordings and all of that kind of stuff. So, can you talk about how that has sort of informed your knowledge of the business?
I now know that talent is not always genetic and it can skip generations. But yeah, I definitely came from a family of musicians. Started with my grandfather down east and his family, several radio shows, and then he brought up my father and my aunts to sing and to play. And, you know, just from the get go, there was always music around. I understood touring in the summer and the importance of festivals. They had a TV show back in the day when you had variety TV shows. And so it was a great experience. It was an amazing way to grow up. And it really, it was the first reason why I came to SOCAN. I always knew what SOCAN was, and CAPAC before that, uh, and ProCan as well. I always knew what a music publisher was. I always knew how important it was to have radio programmers, in your Rolodex. So it was just, it was a really interesting way to grow up, and I'm happy that I get to still live in this ecosystem, even at the on the SOCAN side and the back end with the royalties.
What's your personal mantra? What do you tell yourself every morning? I mean, particularly during the current situation to kind of get through and keep going.
In the current situation, you know what? I'm really just here for the members. I think that is the best part of this job is I have 100% focus on SOCAN.